Hello fellow leggers! You are joining us once again in London's West End, where we are heading into the Vaudeville Theatre
to see the West End transfer of the feminist play Emilia.
So stick around to hear all of our thoughts
And find out how many stars and whether it's break a leg or leg it.
Emilia, that's what we are here to see. I don't know anything about this.
Well, let me fill you in. It's based on the story of Emilia Bassano. It's a true life story. She was an English poet who lived in the 1600s as another male poet and playwright, namely William Shakespeare, was on the rise. Now, Emilia herself was the first English woman to assert herself as a professional poet in an industry and world dominated by men. Not much has changed though, has it?
I like it already.
I mean, we're still in that industry and world, aren't we? Things
We
are
are.
changing, but not as quickly as they should be changing.
Okay.
Now, Emilia had a reputation of one of history's first feminist writers, and her story has been treated in a new play by Morgan Lloyd Malcolm, which was first staged at the Globe Theatre just over the river in August 2018, but has now transferred to London's West End at the Vaudeville.
So it must be good if it's got a transfer, right?
Let's hope. But it's an all-female cast, finally giving Emilia the voice that she was denied more than 400 years ago.
Okay.
Directed by a female director,
Brilliant.
Nicole Charles.
Great.
It's running at 2 hours and 30 minutes, including the interval. And I've heard great things about this, so I am looking forward to going inside.
It's the interval, which means it is time for the break a leggers 30-second interval breakdown. What do I think so far? I'm really enjoying it actually. It's a really nice story, a story that I don't know but interwoven with things that I do know. So William Shakespeare and kind of his history, a really nice dynamic way of telling it with an all-female cast. I'm really enjoying it.
I sort of put it akin to Shakespeare in Love, but with a huge amount of more historical merit. I think it's empowering, I think it's really enlightening, and I'm having a really good time. I think it's some of the best new writing I've seen all year. Well, it's windy on the Strand,
It's
isn't
a bit
it?
chilly
It
as
is
well.
a little bit chilly,
I feel
but
a bit chattery.
but I think we've got a lot to talk about since we've just stepped out from Emilia.
I think we're going to have to keep an eye on the clock, otherwise
Yeah.
I could ramble on about this for a long time.
Yeah, it's layered, it's complex, it's entertaining, and it's all the things that should be when we talk about historical pieces. I've learned something. I've learned a hell of a bloody lot, to be honest with you, and I am going to be mulling this over for quite some time. But first impression's very good, but let's start with you.
I don't think I just learned a lot from this piece. I think you should. This, for me, is compulsory theatre. Theatre at its best is when you come away, like you should feel changed, you should feel moved, you should feel educated, and you should feel as if your understanding of the world and your perspective has shifted. And I feel as if that is what this piece has done for me. It's nothing entirely new in terms of what I know, really, I guess, apart from Emilia's story, but the messages that I'm being left with in terms of how crappy oppression is in this form, it's towards, it's towards females, the sex. This is the where it's at, but I think we can transpose this to anything, towards race, towards sexuality,
gender,
towards it's transposable. At the root of it, it's oppression. And we have come a long way in this country in the 400 years, but still around the world they haven't. So it's still as relevant today as it is back then, and we still have the gender pay gap, for example.
Yeah, in this country. Never mind talking about women's oppression in the Middle East.
There are still
in other countries where there are places in the world where women can't vote. There are places in the world where women can't drive. There are places in the world where women are treated as property. And what I found from this piece, and the one word that was sort of bouncing around inside me, was brutal. Like, the way that we treat other people is brutal. The way that society is built, and it's got men at the core of it, and they're the decision makers, and it's their voices that are heard, is just brutal. And I just wanted to I want to shake people and say, wake the f fuck up is what I want to say to them. I felt angry and compelled to do something and to speak to those people around me and say, can you believe we've ever treated anyone like this? We've got a lot of making up to do. I want to go and smack my father. Like, I really want to. Like, I really want to
condone violence, but I know what you mean. There's a fantastic
to take action is what I want to do.
Yeah, and that's the magic of theatre when it's right, and that's the magic of this writing. There's a whole end monologue. I recommend you getting the script and looking at some of the sections. The language is great. It's also modern as well, so a really nice comparison. But the end monologue is about the anger we should have burning inside us, to say that this isn't right, and it's still not right. You know, I'm thinking of sport and the world of female sport. We're only now beginning to pay attention to women's football teams.
Yeah, can you believe in the last 10 years
that ain't right?
It was something like we'd
people.
said, oh, it's not to the same level, therefore it doesn't have the same value, so therefore we're not going to bother, we're going to ignore it. And that's within our society. This isn't something that's happening in a far off land that seems distant, that we're unconnected to.
It's still here.
This is now with the people around us. It's crazy is what it is.
So the core message of its piece, I think, is so important.
Yes.
And you should come and see it just for this.
We think specifically for young females, it would be life affirming for them. But you know,
males
even for the little leggers, we just want to show that this has happened and show them that we can't exist like this anymore and we can't allow this to go unchallenged.
It puts the world into perspective, and it says, you know, it's over to you now.
And that's the piece.
Work has been done in the past, but we hand over to you. And that's the key message as well.
Absolutely. And that's the strength of the writing, you know. Let's give a massive shout out to the writer Morgan Lloyd Malcolm for acknowledging that, and also, I think, enabling us to apply it to other things. You know, I think they are saying that women have the struggle, but they're not discounting. They say at the end, you know, this is for everybody. If you've got that fire inside you because you've ever felt silenced or oppressed, then you can take this message, and we're doing this for you as well. So that is a major thing.
Yep. So the key message is good. Yep. It's really nice in its structure. It's got in there William Shakespeare, the relationship between Emilia and William Shakespeare.
Yep.
Playing off this idea that the dark lady in Shakespeare's sonnets is Emilia. Yep. Don't know if that's true or not. So
well, it's been often debated, and you know, I put a tweet out about it earlier because that's something that we will never know potentially.
But it's nice to play artistic license on that.
Beautiful poetic mystery, isn't it? That?
Yeah, and some nice interchange between the two of them. A nice reflective moment at the end where a dead William Shakespeare in a theatre almost comes and confronts Emilia and almost says, you know, look at what you've achieved. Yeah. Where are you at now?
Absolutely.
So some nice dramatic writing there from the writer.
Wonderful stuff. Let's move on to other creatives now. I mean, someone we always forget to mention is director. Nicole Charles in this instance. I mean, wow, to have that vision, and for the, you know, I love the fact that it's sort of harping fun in Shakespearean times where you could only have men on stage,
and it's all women.
You know, and now it's all women,
and
it's a bit of a up yours, you know, Shakespearean times is what it is.
Need to be careful. There's only so much I can censor.
I feel that we could get away. I think that's justifiable, to be honest with you.
But
that's
the
really
least
nice, of your worries here.
A really nice play on having an all-female cast and playing the men as well.
You know, and it's majorly a female creative team. You know, I think maybe entirely. I'm looking at the names here.
It's fantastic.
Which is absolutely. I mean, you know, it's about readdressing the balance, and your clawing background, ladies. Well done in a fantastic way. Let's talk about cast members now. I think we should mention the three Emilias, as Emilia is played at three different stages of her life, from a child right through to, you know, close to her death.
However, they're all kind of on stage omnipresent and commenting and reflecting at each other's different stages in their life. Almost like how each moment made them.
Yes.
I thought that was a really key message as well.
Saffron Kumar played the youngest Emilia, Emilia 1. Not a huge amount of credits to her name, but what a presence.
She was brilliant.
Yeah.
She's got some fire and some passion.
She has. Also, Adele Leonce as Emilia 2.
Lovely.
Wonderful work. And Claire Perkins. Wow, a lot of credits to her name.
I recognised her. She's got some fire in her belly as well.
BAFTA nominated TV as well.
She
was. Do you know what? She's up there. she has that presence and drive and that strength of character that Sharon D. Clarke brings across in musical theatre. That sort of commanding presence with a, you know, I think I could have anything delivered by her, and I would wake up and pay. I can't stop myself. I'd wake up and pay attention.
You're giving me hell on this edit.
I am, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she was great as well.
Other members of the cast that were notable, playing William Shakespeare was Charity Wakefield. Fantastic comic timing alongside just a riveting performance. You know, it spans a lot. To take on the bard, I mean, wow.
I mean, we're only picking out a few key parts here, but the whole cast was fantastic. Ensemble moved. They played many parts as well. Some really, we're kind of saying it's a real passionate, hard-hitting piece. It's really funny as well.
Yeah, it is.
It's got the balance of a great piece, the classics.
And that's what makes it entertaining, is you can laugh and cry in this piece within a scene or so, and you go on a journey, you go on an emotional roller coaster, and you become, I felt like you're drawn into the script.
Because they break that fourth wall, they come out into the audience, they were right, we had William Shakespeare right next to us, talking to us, they're passing stuff out in leaflets into the audience, so you're as much a part of it. They are speaking right to you, right from the word go, you have to respond.
And even though they are all women, and clearly we are not, I felt like I was up there with them. I wanted to join the battle cry, join the march. And that is, you know, the characterisation of the way that they share that text.
We should be ashamed of what has happened.
Oh God, I've got penis shame. Amanda Wilkin as Alfonso, thought was also great. Massive amount of comedy there. Did The Grinning Man, which we have a review of, so check that out up there. And I just also want to mention Sarah Sagari as Lady Cordelia and Flora. Brilliant. You know what, I couldn't take my eyes off you were on stage. You were Much Ado About Nothing, which we also have a review for, and I remember you from there. You were great too.
Fantastic.
So keep up the good work. Loved it.
Also great was the music.
Yes.
Must mention the music, soundtrack, the live on stage musicians.
Live musicians as per Shakespearean, sort of typical Shakespeare, really.
It was brilliant.
I'll talk about the composer for the piece. The composer was Lucia Gerstein. Wonderful.
I also really liked the choreography, the movement direction. I don't know if there's a credit for that, but how they incorporated those movement moments was great as
Anna Morrissey for choreography and movement direction.
Okay, I guess you're probably wondering how many stars.
We could go on all day, guys, but we're going to give Emilia
5 stars for this. I absolutely loved it.
I can't, I've got
such a good key
message.
We've
got a friend called Adam who says that he prefers a piece when he can relate to it and see himself up there, and even though he's not a woman, I know he would relate to this. I know so many people would relate to this. Coming out of there, I was like, we need to send your mum, we need to send, Charlie, a fellow legger on previous reviews, we need to send these people, and they would be enlightened and driven to make change.
Drive and change, face up to oppression in all of its forms.
Theatre can do, guys. This is the power. This is why we do what we do, because we're passionate about it. If you like what we do and you want to see more of us, hit subscribe, like this video, just let us know you're there. Otherwise we're just talking to ourselves and
so let us know what you think if you've seen this as was at the Globe. Also, should we mention Theatre and Technology Awards?
Yes, we are eligible for a nomination at Theatre Technology Awards. We'll put some more links in the description down below about that, but if you like us, please give us a little vote. Maybe we'll get nominated. That would be wonderful. You were a judge last year at that award.
I was for the best podcast category, was it?
Yes, and that award celebrates parts of the industry that sometimes don't get any recognition, which is wonderful, like sound and projection and all those things that make a production come to life. A great celebration.
Anyway, with the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Bye.